Hello students, today's lesson is on arithmetic series. And a series is just a sequence with plus signs between the terms, and that's if it's arithmetic. Again, it will have the plus signs between the terms. Today we're going to look at series that are finite, which means that they have an end. You can also have infinite series, and those are the kind that will keep on going forever. Alright, to explore the series, we're going to use the summation formula. Now, a summation formula is used to find the sum of a series or to evaluate the series. So if you see those words, then that's kind of a clue to you that you are going to use the summation formula. Now this formula is on your formula card, and here's what it is. It's S of n equals n divided by 2, a sub 1 plus a sub n is all going to get multiplied by the n divided by 2. Okay, so this n that is right here and right here, this represents the number of terms that you have. And then a sub 1 is just like in the other formulas. It is your first term. And then a sub n is your last term. Alright, so let's look at some examples. Okay, example 1 says to write as a series and then evaluate. So there's our key word, evaluate. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write it as a series, and now all that does is just put plus signs in between each term. Okay. And then you want to count how many terms you have. So in this example, our n is going to be 5 because there are 5 terms. So let's write down what our formula is. It's S sub n, well n is 5. That's going to equal the n, which is 5, divided by 2, times the first term, which is 1, plus the last term, which is 33. And then you can use your calculator to figure out what that's going to be. It's going to be 5 divided by 2 times 34. And so that comes out to be 85. So our summation of the 5 terms is 85. Okay, looking at the second example, you can see that we have some terms that are missing here where those dots are. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to write it as a series, which would just be 0 plus 6 plus 12 plus 18, and then you would just put plus dot 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 plus 120. Okay, so we have a problem with this one. We need to figure out how many terms we have, but because we have some that are missing, then what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to use our explicit formula. And here's our explicit formula. It's a sub n equals a sub 1 plus d times n minus 1. So we have everything that we need except for the n. Our last term, a sub n, is 120, so we're going to plug in 120, equals our first term, which is 0, plus, now we have to figure out what our difference is. Well, it looks like in between each term, looks like they're adding 6 each time, so our d is 6. and then we don't know what the n is, so we're going to put n minus 1. Okay, now go ahead and solve that. So 120 equals the 0 plus, we don't have to do that, but let's go ahead and distribute the 6. 6n minus 6, and then add 6 to the other side so that you can solve for n. So you have 126 equals 6n, so that means that our n is equal to 21. Now, one thing that you should notice is that this n value, just to make sure that you did it right, this should always be a whole number and positive. So always check that to make sure that you did it right. Okay, so now we can go ahead and use our summation formula. Summation of, we know that we have 21 terms now, so we're going to use that n. 21 equals 21 divided by 2 times the first term, which is 0, plus the last term, which was 120. And now go ahead and use your calculator or to figure out what this is. So the summation of the 21 terms is equal to 1,260. Okay, here is our last example. First thing we're going to do is write it as a series. So 15 plus 12 plus 9 plus 6 plus dot 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 plus, I'm going to put this as a negative 21. So plus a negative 21 instead of doing minus 21. They always want you to put plus negative instead of the minus. Okay, so again, we don't know what our number of terms is, so we're going to use the explicit formula. A sub n equals a sub 1 plus d times n minus 1. Our a sub n is a negative 21. Our a sub 1 is 15. And now look and see what the difference is. It's going down, so 15 to 12 to 9, it's going down, so we know our d is a negative. And then it's going down by 3 each time, so it's a negative 3. And then we don't know what our n is, so we're going to try and find that. Okay, so we have negative 21 equals 15. Go ahead and distribute the negative 3. So negative 3n plus 3. Now we can go ahead and combine the 15 and the 3. That would be 18 minus 3n equals that negative 21. Now go ahead and subtract the 18 over to the other side. So we have a negative 39 equals a negative 3n. When I divide by that negative 3, my n is going to be 13. So now let's use that in our summation formula. The summation of the 13 terms is equal to 13 divided by 2 times the first term, 15, and then plus the last term, which is a negative 21. 13 divided by 2. 15 plus a negative 21 is negative 6. And so then we would multiply that and we would get negative 39. So our summation of the 13 terms is negative 39. Okay guys, short and sweet tonight. Come to class ready to work.